My best friend and I unexpectedly got pregnant at the same time. She was carrying her ex-boyfriend's child, a famous movie star. I was pregnant with the baby of a big-shot tycoon from Hong Kong's elite circles. Seeing that neither guy seemed interested in stepping up for the kids, she suggested, "How about we keep the babies and ditch the dads?" I agreed right away. Sure, wherever you go, I'll follow. So we packed up our pregnancies and fled abroad together. Starting a happy life, just the two of us. Everything went smoothly until 2 years later when her kid went viral for looking exactly like the movie star. The cameras accidentally caught me and my child too. That night, my bar was surrounded by a group of men in black. Just as I was about to call the police, someone tied my hands behind my back with a leather strap. He squeezed my waist tight, his voice full of menace. "Go ahead, call them." Guess how many times I'll have my way with you before the cops show up? Heartbroken, my best friend Nora Yu dragged me to a bar to blow off some steam. She was just about to run her hand over a male model's abs when suddenly movie star Henry Xiao appeared at the door. Henry was wearing a baseball cap, storming in with a furious look, pointing at the model who bore a slight resemblance to him and saying, "Who's he?" "Nora, are you using him as my replacement?" Nora looked up, glanced at him, and as she stood, a cold smile tugged at her lips. "Oh, you can treat me like a stand-in for Vanessa Sue, so why can't I find someone to replace you? Isn't that family heirloom from the Xiao family already on someone else's wrist?" Henry was left speechless by her words. His voice was hoarse as he awkwardly explained, "I told you, I didn't give her that bracelet." Nora smirked. "Then go get it back." Silence fell, making the bar's lively atmosphere feel even more stark. Henry stood there for a moment, finally sighing, "I'm sorry, I can't." Even though she'd anticipated this outcome, Nora's face still showed a flicker of uncontrollable emotion. Her eyes reddened as she grabbed her bag, signaling she'd call me later, then strutted out in her high heels. Henry nodded at me and followed her. Remembering how he'd sweet-talked her back before, I shouted anxiously, "Nora, don't go soft. This is a matter of principle. Break up. This time, you have to break up for real." Yelling until my throat was raw, a hand with long, slender fingers offered me a slice of watermelon from behind. Looking at the hand, I felt a stir, thinking, wow, this model's got manners. I smiled and turned. "Hey, cutie, what's your name?" The words barely out, I froze when I saw the familiar face. At some point, the model had been chased off the stool, leaving only Ethan Shen behind me. His face was cold, jawline sharp, eyes like ice staring at me. I stepped back in fear, but he grabbed my wrist. Ethan smirked, eyeing me intently. "Like that little guy?" "Fine, let's go home. I've got a little guy too. I'll let you look your fill." That night, Ethan pinned me against the huge glass door and tormented me until dawn. Across from us was Victoria Harbor, where every square inch of land was worth a fortune. Without Ethan, I wouldn't even qualify to step foot here, but I knew full well I wasn't his girlfriend, just his canary at best. In my first year in the entertainment industry, I ran into a director who tried to harass me. I'd politely declined all through dinner, but he got bolder, his hand nearly slipping under my skirt when Ethan appeared. With one casual sentence, he got me out of the mess. He was a legendary mogul in Hong Kong's entertainment world. I was just a newbie actress with no name. Ethan didn't pursue me aggressively or make grand gestures, but he cared for me in small ways, and his looks, rivaling any leading man, made my heart flutter. Over time, I couldn't deny I was falling, but I always knew my place. A canary is just a canary. How could it compare to a real girlfriend? Still zoning out? Maybe to punish my distraction, Ethan suddenly sped up. "Thinking about who? That little guy?" I cried out, clutching his arm, biting my lip and shaking my head. But my answer clearly didn't satisfy him. He flipped me over. "Even if not, you'll take it." I don't know how long it lasted before the storm finally subsided. Ethan carried me to the big tub, his arms still wrapped around me. In that hazy moment, I suddenly asked, "I heard your sister, Tina Shen, is back?" "Yeah." Ethan had been close to Tina since childhood. She handled most of the Shen family's big and small affairs. More importantly, I'd heard Tina brought a woman back this time. The one meant to marry Ethan. Thinking of that, I probed, "Can I meet her?" Ethan's closed eyes snapped open. He studied me for a moment, then coolly said, "No need." Of course, a canary doesn't get to meet family. I hid my disappointment, smiling faintly. Okay. That night, Nora said she'd call, but it was noon the next day when she texted. Don't worry, no getting back together. I thought things would just go on like that. Until a month later, Nora and I both realized our periods were late. We met at the hospital for checks, and when the ultrasound showed pregnancy confirmed, we both fell silent. Nora snatched my results, scolding, "Didn't we say break up after getting the resources? Why no protection?" "I did," I shot back loudly. But thinking of that intense session by the window, I lowered my voice. "But maybe it broke." Nora rolled her eyes helplessly. Now I grabbed hers. I yelled, "You dare lecture me? What about you? No boyfriend. Whose kid is it?" Nora's lashes fluttered. She glanced guiltily, mumbling, "Henry's." "Whose?" I thought I misheard, frowning. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and yelled in my ear, "My ex, Henry, Xiao!" The shout rang in my ears. I grumbled irritably, "If it's Henry, say Henry. Why yell?" Nora had broken up. Henry had his white moonlight, Vanessa Sue, and me, just a hidden canary while Ethan's fiancé was back. Thinking that, we both sighed. Clearly, neither guy wanted the responsibility. After silence, Nora grabbed my hand, hesitantly. "How about we keep the babies, ditch the dads?" I thought, then said, "Sure, Ethan's been generous these years, plus my acting earnings, enough for a villa abroad. And add a dog, a cat, a villa, 2 moms, and 2 kids. Isn't that the dream retirement life for me and my bestie?" Said and done. Nora, post-breakup and not living together, could leave anytime. Me? More complicated. That time, I agonized over ending things with Ethan, but found no right moment. Until one night, he came home drunk. Opening the door, my smile froze. Ethan was half leaning on a beautiful woman's shoulder. She was the one I'd seen in photos with Tina on her return. Sandra He, Ethan's fiancée. She looked at me politely, gently. "Hi, you're Stella Tan, right? Ethan's wasted. I brought him home." Sandra's gracious demeanor surprised me. Unlike what I'd imagined, she seemed to know all about me and Ethan. I forced a smile, taking him and laying him on the sofa. Sandra didn't rush off. She glanced around, smiling. "Can I have some water?" I kept a straight face, heading to the kitchen while her even voice followed. "I heard while I was abroad, you took care of Ethan. Thanks a lot. I've seen your films. A woman without backing in showbiz, it's tough. Tina and I both admire you. She said she wants to invite you to a Shen family party soon. Has Ethan mentioned?" My pouring hand paused. Turning to Sandra, her eyes held no scorn or boasting of her status, just the confidence of the true Shen family matriarch. That feeling, I'd never had it with Ethan, no matter how long. In that moment, the weight crushing my heart crashed down. I knew it was time to go. That night, with Ethan asleep, I quietly packed. I'd prepared mentally from the start, so not much stuff at his place. I left all the expensive gifts, taking only a bracelet. The one we'd gotten at Wutai Mountain, matching ones for peace. I'd thought a lot about a proper goodbye, but maybe not needed. On the gray silk sheets, Ethan's face was as handsome as our first meeting. He always thought he'd conquered me, but he didn't know I'd fallen at first sight too. My heart filled with bitterness and regret. I texted his phone one last time. "I'm leaving. Long roads ahead, no meetings this life." Then blocked him. "Ethan, may we both live peacefully and well." This is our 3rd year in Australia, Nora and me. We both had healthy babies. Nora's son is Bobby, my daughter Penny. When Bobby and Penny turned 3, Nora started social media content about mom life, but never showed faces. I opened a bar in Australia. Life was comfy, money, free time, and hot guys at the bar to eye. Until one day, under Nora's video, a comment. Am I the only one who thinks little Bobby looks just like movie star Henry Zhao? Henry had posted childhood pics. Comparisons shocked netizens. Not just similar, identical. And Bobby went viral. Many joked and tagged Henry on Weibo. Some asked Nora, "Who's the dad?" Nora snapped, "No dad, I reproduced asexually." When netizens suspected her as a mistress with an illegitimate kid, Nora retorted bitterly, "If you knew the dad, you'd think I'm unlucky too." Right after, an account named Henry Xiao replied, "You sure, Nora?" Username Henry Xiao, profile pic him, and calling her name. If fan, not convincing. Nora panicked, deleted all comments, set to friends only. That night, she came to my bar to vent, fearing Henry would find and demand Bobby. I reassured, just videos online. Even if real Henry, Australia's huge, he couldn't pinpoint our address. Seeing her still worried, I suggested an outing tomorrow to relax. Next day, we took the kids to a tourist spot but got stopped by street reporters. Bobby viral lately, we declined interview, left quick, but video got posted. In it, Bobby clear, even me and Penny caught. Netizens exploded. OMG, real life he looks even more like Henry. Could be Henry's secret kid? Celeb scandals common. That girl in the video's cute too. Her mom looks familiar, like an actress? Seeing Buzz veering off, Nora and I discussed. Maybe relocate, bar's not great anyway, wanted to close early. Nora nodded. Where you go, I follow. Nora deleted her account. I posted bar for sale. Nora deleted her social media account. I put up a sign to sell the bar. We started planning our next move, thinking maybe New Zealand or Canada, somewhere quiet, far from prying eyes. But before we could finalize anything, things took a turn. That evening, as I was closing up the bar, a fleet of black SUVs pulled up outside. Men in dark suits spilled out, forming a perimeter around the place. My heart sank. I reached for my phone to call the police, but before I could dial, someone grabbed me from behind. A leather strap bound my hands, and a strong arm locked around my waist. His voice was low, dripping with menace. Go ahead, call them. Guess how many times I'll have you before the cops show up? I froze. That voice, Ethan Shen. Struggling against his grip, I snapped. Ethan, what the hell is this? He spun me around, his eyes burning with a mix of anger and something else. Hurt, maybe? You ran, Stella. Took my kid and disappeared for 3 years. Did you think I wouldn't find you? I opened my mouth to argue, but the words caught in my throat. Penny? He knew about Penny. The viral video must have tipped him off. I cursed under my breath. Damn internet. Let's talk inside, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Not like this. He loosened his grip, but didn't let go, guiding me back into the bar. The men outside stayed put, like some kind of private army. Ethan shut the door behind us, his face unreadable. Start talking, he said, leaning against the counter, arms crossed. Why'd you leave? Why didn't you tell me about her? I took a deep breath, the weight of 3 years pressing down. You had Sandra He. Your sister brought her back to marry you. I was just your canary, Ethan. What was I supposed to do? Stick around and play side chick while you built a family? His jaw tightened. Sandra, you thought. He let out a bitter laugh. Stella, you've got it all wrong. Then explain, I shot back, my voice rising. You wouldn't let me meet your sister. You kept me at arm's length. And then Sandra shows up, acting like the future Mrs. Shen. What was I supposed to think? Ethan ran a hand through his hair, pacing. Sandra was never my fiancée. She's engaged to my cousin, a match I arranged to get her out of my life. My sister, Tina, she's been trying to control me for years, using people like Sandra to tie me down. I didn't tell you because I was protecting you from her. Tina's dangerous, Stella. You don't know what she's capable of. I stared at him, processing. So, you're saying you didn't want Sandra? Not for a second, he said, stepping closer. I wanted you. Always have. But you left before I could explain. My chest tightened. And Penny? You didn't know about her. His face softened, but his eyes were intense. I didn't. But when I saw that video, saw her face, God, Stella, she looks just like me. Why didn't you tell me? Tears pricked my eyes. I thought you wouldn't care. I thought you'd move on with your perfect life, your perfect fiancé. I wasn't going to beg you to play dad. Ethan closed the distance between us, his hands cupping my face. I would have cared. I do care. Stella, I've spent 3 years looking for you. You think I'd let you go that easily? I wanted to believe him, but the hurt ran deep. You say that now, but what about when your family pressures you? When Tina decides I'm not good enough? I'm not one of you, Ethan. I'm just a nobody actress. You're not nobody, he said fiercely. You're everything, and I'm done letting my family dictate my life. Tina's out of the picture. I've taken control of the Shen group. She can't touch us anymore. I blinked, stunned. What do you mean, out of the picture? He hesitated, then said, I've been dismantling her influence for years. That board meeting today? It was the final nail. She's lost her power in the company, and I've got evidence of her dirty deals. She's done. I didn't know what to say. Part of me was relieved, but another part was terrified. Ethan wasn't just a man. He was a force, ruthless when he needed to be. And yet, here he was, looking at me like I was his entire world. Stella, he said softly, come back. For me, for Penny. Let's be a family. I pulled away, shaking my head. It's not that simple. I've built a life here. Nora and I, we've made it work. I can't just... Bring Nora, he interrupted. Bring Bobby. I'll take care of all of you. Just don't run again. I laughed, a mix of disbelief and exhaustion. You're insane. Maybe, he said, a small smile tugging at his lips, but I'm insane about you. Meanwhile, Nora was dealing with her own drama. Henry Zhao had tracked her down thanks to the viral video of Bobby. Unlike Ethan's dramatic entrance, Henry showed up at her apartment looking like a kicked puppy. Nora, he started, standing in her doorway, we need to talk. She crossed her arms, unimpressed. What's there to talk about? You've got Vanessa Sue, your family's blessing, your whole perfect life. Leave us alone. Henry flinched. Vanessa and I aren't together. Never were. That bracelet? My grandmother gave it to her without my consent. I didn't even know until it was too late. Nora scoffed. Convenient story. Why should I believe you? Because I love you, he said, voice breaking. I've always loved you. And Bobby, he's mine, isn't he? She froze, her tough facade cracking. What if he is? You think you can just waltz in and play dad now? Henry stepped closer, desperate. I'm not here to take him away. I just want a chance to make things right. For you, for him. Please, Nora. She stared at him, torn. Henry had hurt her, but the look in his eyes, the same look Bobby had when he begged for an extra cookie, made her waver. I'll think about it, she finally said. But don't expect miracles. Back in Australia, life settled into a new rhythm. I didn't sell the bar after all. Ethan convinced me to keep it, even offered to invest so I could expand. Nora and I decided to stay, at least for now, to see where things went. Ethan became a regular at the bar, showing up every night like clockwork. Not to drink, just to sit, watch me work, and drive me home. Sometimes he'd bring Penny, who'd cling to his leg and call him Daddy in her tiny, determined voice. It melted me every time. Nora and Henry were more complicated. She didn't let him back in easily, but he was persistent, showing up with toys for Bobby, helping with groceries, even sitting through her long rants about his past mistakes. Slowly, she started to soften. One night, Nora and Henry came to the bar together. She sipped a martini while he stuck to soda, looking nervous. Stella, Nora said, leaning over the counter, you still not living with Ethan? I shrugged, wiping a glass. Nope, I'm good on my own. Got Penny, got the bar. Why complicate things? Henry snorted. You're as stubborn as Nora. Poor Ethan's been moping for years, you know. Carries that braided bracelet everywhere, calls your name when he's drunk. I froze, glancing at Ethan across the bar. He was scrolling on his phone, oblivious, the familiar bracelet on his wrist catching the light. Nora nudged me. You don't have to marry him, but at least give the guy a chance. He's not going anywhere. I sighed, setting the glass down. Maybe. That night, as I locked up, Ethan was waiting by the door, hands in his pockets. He looked tired, but his eyes lit up when he saw me. Ready to go home? He asked. I nodded, then hesitated. Ethan, why do you keep coming here? You don't have to. He smiled, a little sad. Because you're here, and I don't have a home without you. My heart skipped. I stepped closer, brushing my fingers against his. You're such a sap. Only for you, he said, pulling me into a hug. A week later, chaos hit. Closing the bar, I heard a crash, glass shattering. The huge window by the entrance exploded inward, shards flying. Before I could react, Ethan tackled me to the ground, shielding me. A sickening thud followed, metal on flesh. Ethan groaned, blood trickling from his head. A man with a steel bat stood over us, sneering, before sprinting to a waiting van. In the back, I glimpsed Tina Shen's face, her smile chilling. Ethan, I screamed, cradling his head as blood pooled. Stay with me. He managed a weak smile. I'm fine, Stella. Just stay safe. At the hospital, I was a wreck, pacing outside the operating room. Nora held me, whispering, he's tough. He'll pull through. Henry, who'd rushed over, got off a call. Good news. The bar's cameras caught everything. Tina's done for. I nodded, tears streaming, barely hearing him. When the doctor finally emerged and nodded, I collapsed in relief. Ethan was moved to a VIP room. Despite a head injury, he acted like he was paralyzed, whining for water, fruit, anything to keep me close. Wife? I'm thirsty, he mumbled, eyes twinkling. I shoved a glass at him, deadpan. Here. Wife, some fruit? I gritted my teeth, spearing an apple slice. Eat. Wife? What now? I snapped. He grinned, shameless. A kiss. I rolled my eyes. Why not ask for a grope too? His eyes lit up. Can I? Dream on. My phone rang, news that Tina had been arrested. Ethan had uncovered her shady deals years ago, including a murder-for-hire plot over a land deal. This attack was her last-ditch effort to take him out. I told Ethan, expecting shock. He just shrugged. She tried to kill me when I was 10. I'm not surprised. I gaped. 10? He nodded, looking away. Why I kept you away from her? She's unhinged. But I'm sorry, Stella. I should have given you more security. I owe you and Penny for those years apart. I love you more than I ever thought possible. Something in me broke. The resentment I'd carried dissolved. Tears fell as I leaned into him. You idiot. Don't ever scare me like that again. He pulled me close, voice soft. Never. We've got all the time in the world if you'll let me in. Outside, the sunset glowed red. Our new chapter started there.